Do-do-do. There it is. All right, we should be live now. Get my light on. I'm gonna need to swap out some batteries here real quick. But if anybody can hear me, let me know how the audio sounds. We're switching to a lav mic for tonight. But I need to change out my thing real quick. My batteries. We got fresh batteries in. Gunner, what's up, man? Can anybody hear me? Audio is fine. Okay, cool. A little worried there for a minute that it wasn't fine. Check here. Yep, that's on, working, great. Okay, well, I think we're gonna go ahead and get started then. So, I guess let me get out of this. Get out of this. Get out of this. Turn that off. So yeah. So what we're doing tonight is I'm going to assemble the X Carriage. So far what we did was I first off did the Y and the idlers for that, and then we added on the front. These are the belt tensioners. There's one at the front here. Basically the X and Y belts. They both labels Y belts here, but this is for tensioning your belts. And I did the first bit of the back corners here for each of these. I went through and reprinted all these parts and have re-put them on with dried filament to kind of help out a little bit. It was a little bit moist, to say the least, the Amazon Basics filament. Their new kind is not really that great. The older one was much better, but this is what I was using. So reprinted the fronts as well, added a few little accent colors here and there. The idlers inside are black, knobs are black, and I have everything else here ready, primed to go. I am going to pull a little bit of an audible, and I'm going to be using a volcano hot end on this instead of a standard V6 because it's a huge build volume, and I don't need another 0.4 millimeter humongous build volume printer. We're going to use a 0.6 millimeter on this, and I have that queued up ready to go. Oh, I went ahead and also put all these sides back on. So there's this top piece and this up and down. Also this back brace here. And right here you'll see there's a wee piece of acrylic. I went down into my storage room and I found some, I think this is 1/8 inch thick acrylic sheets. I had 2 of them here, but I decided just to go with one. This one was not cut. I cut these by hand and this was not cut straight. Well, I guess I snapped them by hand. This was not snapped straight. Hey, Vince. And yeah, so I went with one for right now. It's held on with 3, T-nuts on top, 3 T-nuts on bottom. And I'm currently pursuing how to enclose this. I really don't know what I want to do, but it's going to be expensive. I do know that. I think if I was to cut it myself, it's going to cost me $120 just for buying the acrylic and shipping it. So that is quite a bit. I'm going to down my gain just a little bit on the mic. I feel like it's a little bit hot. Yeah, so and that's going to be for a left side panel, right side panel, outer back panel, inner back panel. So where this clear sheet is, this would be a full sheet, and then a lower panel. And I haven't decided if I want to make any front at all for this, or if I want to put some type of drop-on enclosure on top. Have not decided any of that yet, but that might all come secondary, maybe later in the year. Because again, adding another $120, $140 onto this build is a lot. So, I mean, I already dropped almost 800 on this build as it is so far. So doing more than that is a little much. I guess I'm at like 700 right now, I guess, with LEDs and controllers and everything else built into it. Yeah, it's getting deep. So I'd rather not go too deep yet. Hey, Chris. No, it's not done yet. We're on part 3. So we're going to go ahead and do the X Carriage here in a minute. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get all these parts together, and then we can kind of get started. So let me switch cameras here. So I'm going to keep up right here. I'm going to keep the directions. So again, we're doing the hot end. So these PDF files are all in the download link that you get off of the Thingiverse page. It has all of the different PDFs in there. They're not super descriptive, like this. Okay, so we're using M5s for this. I mean, M2.5s for this and that. It's a little hard to see, obviously for you guys. But I mean, if you're looking to do this, you download the Thingiverse one, and there's that. Yeah, Gunner. So again, if I wanted to buy it outright, it's going to be like $120-ish after shipping. I reached out to a buddy of mine on Facebook who has a large CNC and a large laser cutter, and I sent him the stock drawings from here. So there is a DXF file that's in the file section here for this, and yeah, so here it has a DXF and also has a DWG. So I sent it to him. I was like, hey, how much would this be to cost, this to cut for me? And that would just be to get me to the stock setup. I'm not 100% sure I like it. I did find another one online that I liked better. That's not it. I closed it. There is another enclosure online that I did like, and I might go with that one where it makes space in the back to mount some spools inside this back carriage, because a full spool will easily fit in there inside this gap. A full spool fits. I also can move this forward if I need to a smidge, but a full spool will fit in here, and I kind of just want to make space for that. I think that would be kind of cool to have my spool in here and then my PTFE tube coming up and in. So I'm still debating what to do, but either way, I wanted to get a price quote just so I can see, okay, what is it going to cost me to have someone professionally cut this for me to size versus DIYing it. I have cut large sheets of acrylic before. I used to be a computer modder before I got into 3D printing, and one of my feature builds, this one was in the Custom PC UK magazine, was a full from scratch build, basically a cube about this size, but it was a server. So I had freehand cut everything onto that that printer. I used angled and square tubing for all of the frame, and then I mean that was before 80/20 was really a thing, or 20/20 extrusion. I didn't really know about it back then. I should have used that, hindsight 20/20. But either way, I used that. I cut all the acrylic pieces. I cut out designs for them. I put LED lighting behind them. I did all that by hand, and that kind of got me into the acrylic scene. But that took me, I mean, weeks and weeks and weeks to build that PC, and I'm not sure I want to do the time into that again, because I used a T-square and drafted everything and drew everything on there, and it was a ton of work. Very rewarding work, but it was a ton of work. So I'm not sure I want to do that again. But that's enough on that. Let's get to building this. So let me pull out the parts I'm going to need here. So I don't need that one. And again, so we're going to do the X Carriage. So I went ahead and printed out this is the direct drive front shroud, I think he calls it. This was very hard to print. I actually failed this twice before I finally got this one to work. There's a little bit of glue on it, so I just need to kind of clean that up. But I had to print this ridiculously slow because it is like 2 layers like deep in there. Come on, turn. Oh, I'm getting caught here. Hang on. My cable's caught. it is not much to hold on to the build plate. Those little fine, I think it was like 2 widths or 2 extrusions per each one of these. Very, very fine. But yeah, I wanted some accent color, so I have that. And then I printed out 2 French shrouds. So the standard, and then this is for the volcano. We're going to be using the volcano one here. I also am going to need the, this is for the direct drive for the BMG. This is not in the default CAD. You have to import it from their stuff. This is the top part for the BMG. This will mount on the top carriage. I need that, and then we have the back plate. I have the front plate, so this is where the E3D-V6 will mount into. And then I have the front fan holder, where this has the mounts here on the bottom for the IR sensor. Has a little recess there. This is where the IR sensor is going to go. This fan mount thing is needed as well. And then need this bottom plate, and this is what will help hold the part cooling fan. I guess we'll have to probably attach that first, like so, and to get that mounted on. The rest of this should be bed and Z-axis. Now, I did print one standard top, just in case I decided to go with Bowden. You can use, this is the same back plate for Bowden. That doesn't change. The only real difference is this top plate in order to mount the extruder up there. So it should work out well. Yeah, we don't need this one. Yeah, so I can move this out of the way, and then we can go up top here. See if I can zoom in. You guys can see I have got to work on the zoom on this camera because it is just gunky. There we go. That should be all right. So I'm going to start off with this, and I'm going to bring up my documentation again. There's nothing in here for the direct drive, I don't think, in the files. Oh, direct drive. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. So using some standard hex nuts in here, these. And we're gonna need a bunch of these 10 mils to get it done. So I'm just gonna push in a couple nuts need to go into these parts. I'm just gonna push these in real quick. Now we can get to assembling properly. Don't know how easy or hard this is going to end up being, which is why I left this as its own kind of video. But I figured if I ran into any problems, I'd have plenty of time to figure it out. And we can do the Z-axis on Friday. And then pretty much will be, after we do the Z-axis, it'll be the whole front panel. And then hopefully we can start with it. So I'm going to go ahead and install this top bracket on now. This is basically the foothold for everything, and these go in the back. I pre-drilled everything already, so I wouldn't have to bore you guys with me drilling, with me forgetting to mute and drilling, because that would be a bad day. Frosted acrylic would be nice. I did look at frosted acrylic, but the price was extraordinary. It was extra, I think, $10 per sheet. I mean, the cheapest I could find 24 by 24 inch black acrylic sheets is $20 or $21. It's $20.99 on E Street Plastics. So with 24 by 24 inch panels, I can cut those down to size because each of these panels is about 22 by 22 for the outer three. So two 24s for that would be fine. And then 18 by 24 for the back, and an 18 by 24 for the bottom. would work out well. And then I could just cut those down. All right, so there's the foundation of our mount here. Then I guess I will go ahead and slide on this here. I did sand this down a bit to get that to mount on, and that uses an M10. Oh, it's an M3 by 12 millimeter. Let me find where those are at. Let me pull all this stuff out. Kitty, you cannot get into my windows in my office. They're closed. Hey, you can't get in the windows. Here's an M3 by 12. Now this M3 by 12 is what holds this extruder bracket straight down. Again, overkill is the name of the game with this printer. It's really not needed, but it calls for, because on the sides here, these side holes right here, there's a bolt that goes from the back all the way through. I'm sorry, from the front all the way through to the back to hold this in by 2 places. There's another bolt here holding it by a 3rd one. So, I mean, it is a very, very, very overkill, but it's going to look like that. And it's just going to look fantastic, I think. I hope it does, at least. So we have that, and then I will grab out a motor. So I'm going to use the motor that came with the kit. I don't know why, though. Because it is a standard 34 mil. I think it's 34 millimeters. Oh, it's a 38 millimeter stepper. I do have some pancake steppers, which I'm pretty sure you can use with a BMG, a geared BMG. I'm pretty sure. But as I've only ever used one of these before, and that's on the Sapphire, it does not have a geared, or it does not have a pancake motor on it because it's stable. So for now, I'm going to use this, but I am fully expecting to change this out at a later date. But for now, it is what it is. Now what I need to do is get this together here. And all right, well, for right now I'm going to use the parts that came with the kit. Again, that's kind of the goal here, is to evaluate the kit. I'm going to put the cable going up and tighten this down. I'm going to use, where'd that Allen wrench go? Some rotation for it. Take that down a little bit more. Kitty, you cannot get in the windows. I'm just gonna tell you that, bro. Okay, that moves okay. Why are you not getting that satisfying snap? Putting this together. You need to get down in there. There we go. Now we got that satisfying snap. And it goes like that, I guess. Brian, everything's printed in PETG. But yeah, so before I do that, this is gonna go like this. This is gonna go like this. Kitty, get down. Sorry guys, 1 second here. You cannot get in my windows. Go on, beat it. Go on, get. That. Put I guess not. That's fine. So yeah, we'll go ahead and, what length are those? Screws that came with the BMG dual drive, okay. Can you stay on it without falling, maybe? Hey everybody that just came in. You just slide through. Why are you not sliding through? That'd be because the hole is not drilled. Oh my god, that's very Chinesium. All right, so I take it back. I am gonna have to drill for a quick second, guys. Find out what works here. See, this is not going through. Because it's not drilled, Shane. There we go. It's just that top bit that just wasn't there. I mean, this is what you get when you don't buy original stuff, right? Things like this will happen. Now it goes through. So it's interesting. This is like direct drive, but like not direct drive, which is kind of interesting. It's not going to work. It says to use the original one that came with it. They don't. It says 10 mil just to pull this thing in a little bit. You might need to spot here. There it goes. Can't do it with that on there. Dang it, that'd be nice. I like having all the mounting holes of something be actually connected to something. Okay, it does fit, okay. All right. Very tight. He should kind of like really slide in there. Up now, the last one here. So I'm going to be using M3 by 30s for attaching the front and back plates on. Now once I get those front and back plates on, I will then be able to hook up the, right now I just have the belts taped to the axis here to keep them where they're supposed to be, but I will be able to actually mount those very soon. Are we in over there? Guess we're in. And then I'll put this back in here. Okay. So now we're going to get the back plate here. That's going to need a nut in it. Where'd that go? Here it is. So back plate, front plate. Front plate needs 2 more M3 nuts. I did print all of these after I did my modifications. I went through and made all of these printable without support, which is making the sacrificial layers inside all of the holes, which really did help out with all of this, because otherwise it's kind of impossible to print these without support and get all of that support out of these tiny M3 holes. It's pretty much impossible to get them out cleanly with PETG, because PETG is just so sticky. Yeah, so we're like that. And I need 3 by 30s, 25s, 35s, 3 by 30s. Let's go to the top. Wow, that's a long ask. Well, I guess I did not drill these ones out though. See, I spoke too soon. So I think I did something right. I ended up doing it wrong. Printing painting, hey, thank you. Eduardo, what's up? 3 by 30s. We're gonna go into here. Extension bar. Whoop. Oh, I didn't go too far. That's good. So Eduardo, that's one of the things that Anna and I are looking to improve on this kit is the quote-unquote printability. And again, printing this front shroud part was brutal. I cannot explain enough how hard this thing was to print. It was, eventually I ended up doing it on a smooth PEI sheet with a ton of glue in order to get this to stay, because it would not stick to the textured build surface that I normally use for PETG. And it would not stick to that even with glue. So that was very brutal. Okay, so this I can actually put on last. I'm seeing how this is going on now. I need to go back to this drawing, and M3 by 40s is what I need now. So, the M3 by 40s. Do I even have any? No. The 30s are gone. 35s. 25s. 35s. Look in parts. I'm not seeing any M3 by 40s in here. There's one 3 by 40. All right, well, let's go to the parts bin. See what I have. Do have some here. So yeah, I have some socket cap head ones. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. These will go through here, here, and interestingly enough, there's no these will slide through here. I knew that was going to fall off. Not all of these holes came out the same, so some of them are a little loose. This one here. So we're going to put a piece of tape on it that I can pull off later. To get these belts out of the way now. Okay. Push these all the way through to there. Back carriage. One right there. And again, interestingly enough, there's no captive nuts on the back to hold them. There's truly not understanding how that's supposed to. I guess I'll just see again. This is one of those little design flaws that I'm not saying this printer has a ton, but there are definitely places that were overlooked in this build. Definitely. And this is one of them. Man. That. Yeah, okay. So I've got that on, and I need 2 more to go through here, but I need this bottom piece is where it gets tricky because you have to do an order of operations with this. So we need to attach on our part cooling fan onto here first because I don't see any other way to attach this thing. So that's 2 M3 by 10s. No, M3 by 14s. These are 16s. 3 by 14. It's not liking the mixture of screws, so these are Phillips. Don't like that. 1, 2, get those in there, and then I need to figure out how to get 2 M3 bolt nuts. The M3 nuts sit down in here. So that's going to be wicked fun to figure out. And this definitely should have had, I mean, the way he's mounting it is interesting, 100% interesting. But the practicality of it is not really there. So the front one, okay, easy to snap in. This back one, how in the world am I going to get that to get in there? I did not drill these out. Probably should have. Yep. Yep. All right, this is going to be kind of brutal. I'm 100% open for suggestions. If anybody has a suggestion on how to get this in there better. I'm gonna go crazy. That didn't work. All right, let's get a smaller bolt and try it that way. Okay, so let's get, this is long enough, I think. Let's just through. Of course I used a black bolt, that was stupid. Should use a silver one so it's easier to see. Way to attach this thing. Especially because once this is on, there is no way to change this fan shroud out unless you disassemble the entire carriage, which, I don't know, seems pretty goofy to me. Like if you would have added like side bolts or something, that would have made a lot more sense, maybe. Oh my god. Got it. It's on there. Some way to hold that. Got it in there. What's up, Jim? Anyways, I was saying earlier, one of the things that Aaron and I are looking to improve on this build, he has some pretty cool ideas on how we can make this printer without supports. I mean, right now I'm using little mediocre hacks in order to accomplish that, but there are definitely ways to do it through design and not design hacks. Yeah, so I'm bolting it into here. And I dropped one. At least it's the easy one. That's a positive note. Not here. And try to swindle that in there again. Will that maybe? Oops. Phillips. Now this mix match of bolts is not the designer's fault. It is the supplier who I bought this kit from for them providing that. So yeah, so this is going to be for the Volcano. You can see it's taller than the standard one. Also, like that triangle in there is even smaller on this one, which that would be really hard to get on too. At least this one is recessed. So this is a good remix of what they were given, which was not much, to be honest. Now, I don't understand why trees are there. What are those for? I don't get it at all. Hey, thanks, Jim. I could use polycarbonate. I really could. But I decided on PETG because it is easier to print and it's safer to print than polycarbonates. So the bare build that I have coming up soon, once the rest of the parts get here, that is printed in polycarbonate carbon fiber. So of recessed holes in the back for some nuts. So that is definitely an easy thing to remix, and I will most definitely be adding that in the future, because that is an easy part to take off and remount. Maybe a couple bolts to take apart the carriage. The only thing that's going to suck is having to have to take apart the belts in order to get that off. But I mean, that is a stable pot in there. Moves really nice and easily. That's good. So, well, that's interesting right there. All right, I'm going to have to take this off for now. We're going to go ahead and get the belts on because it is going to be too hard to reach these back ones with the fan shroud on there. So I'll put these through here. And again, I mean, there are these, I'll show you here. So I don't know what these are doing. These small ones, the X Carriage bot is using M2.5 by 12 mil bolts through there. Why? What's their purpose? They don't mount to anything. understand the purpose of these down in here. What is... what's the purpose of it? Let me look in the main model, see if there's anything that can tell us there. But hey, Darren. It's if you're using the end stops. Okay, so you see right inside here. Oh, actually, I think I've opened somewhere else here. Where's the X? That's fine. But you can see in here there is an X end stop. I'm going to be going with sensorless. I guess I could go with the end stop. I don't know. I was thinking going the sensorless because I mean, why not? I'm torn. I'm going sensorless. It's 2209s for a reason. I mean, it's 2020. Let's get with the times. Let's use the hardware that I got here. There's no reason to go with end stops. It's gonna have a sensor. It has a sensor for a Z. It'll be sensorless for X and Y. Yeah, we're not doing that. That's too much noise. Okay, so for these, I'm going to be an absolute challenge, even with this only partially together. Just gonna pull them through right now because some of them will need a bit of finagling to get where I need them to go. And I might need to actually take these off in order to do so. It's here. Tough ask. You get in there. There we go. And of course it's twisted because I'm an idiot. All that work. Oh, vey. Come on. It'd be easier to take these off and do, but I am doggone stubborn. I am not doing that. Riveting here, I understand. Okay, got two of those in now. The back side, which is going to be as hard, if not harder, just because it seems like they're positioned a little bit more difficultly. You come here. I do not have the light on my side either to do these. Yep, we're going to take off the back plate. At least get them through the holes and then I can put it back on. That was easier. Here. Okay. So pull that a little this way. Finagle here, finagle there. Get this on, get you on. All right. Now all that's there. Pull that back part back on now. One, two. Just short enough, which is quite hilarious. I made these way too freaking long. That's okay. So the goal here is to get these tight, and then I have the slack. Tensioners are as loose as they will go. Well, there's a little bit of extra space there, but they're pretty loose. So the goal is going to be is to tighten those up, but we need to put this back in because I need to get this carriage nice and sturdy before I go and tension these belts down, because otherwise I will bend the carriage if the carriage is not sound. Good torque down. There we go. Okay, so we're sturdy as we're going to get. Three by 25. To these. So I need two of these for the fan. And they are using a washer, so M3 washers. See if I can turn this whole thing around. If you guys can even see any of that back there. You kind of can. Okay. So, oh, I need the fan out. I'll need both fans eventually, but neither of these cables are going to be long enough, which is pretty interesting because I think I have 24 with a long cable on it. I thought I did. Let's see if I have a 24 volt with a long cable to it. And if I do, I'll use that instead. Fans. Be in the other container. I think it's down in there. One other place here. Down in my stuffs. I think I put them in here. So I thought I used them all up. I'm not seeing any in there. By giving a 30-second look. Wait, I didn't put any in here, did I? It's not in there, but I do have the pancake steppers. I'll pull out for now. So I'll need those later, most likely. I know I have more fans somewhere around here, but they are right now, to be honest. Thought I got more blower fans in. Maybe I ordered them and they're just not here yet. Also strong possibility, but whatever. We'll just extend the cable because obviously this bit of cable is not going to help us. So the fan goes. It's going to go like that. Somehow. Okay. Let's get these belts done here. Couple zips. Well, underneath, I guess. Whoop. Almost pulled that out. That'd have been not cool. Not cool, not cool. At all. Here. This side. I might end up doubling these up eventually on the zips, especially on the front ones because they are not linking tooth to tooth like these back ones are. Those are not going to slip. All right, so now that the belts are, you can hear everything moving around. and tighten these down to get the desired tension that I want. Yeah, feels pretty good right there. These belts will stretch a little bit eventually, so that's why it's nice to have a bit of belt tensioning on there. Where's my snips? We can get all of these off. Again, I'm not trimming the belts down yet until I am 100% sure it's what I need, because my extra stock is limited. All right, so now we can go ahead and figure out how in the world this thing attaches. So you go this way. Bolt goes through here. Into nothingness. Unless it's just on there, get its own nut, I guess. Some of these directions are a smidge on the confusing side, to say the least. I'm just going to put a nut on the bottom here, and this should kind of go into here, like so, and go down in there, way more. Oh, well, you can't do that if you have the bolt in yet, Shane. So pull that out, down in there. Wiggle it some more. Still too high. Millimeters too high. Really trying not to break this thing. Backwards? No, that's the way it's supposed to go. I wonder if it's in the way. Matt, did you get this thing installed? It really seems to interfere with it. I wonder if I should just take a Dremel and zip a little notch out of here real quick, because that seems to be what is keeping us from sinking all the way in. Oh. Right, there it goes. All right, a little bit of persuasion. Little bit of persuasion there. Another cable. All right. That was jank. The video's rear corner area. These were tough. They definitely were tough. Probably 50. Oh, I don't use inkjet. I use laser. I've had my laser printer for years, and I highly recommend them because they are amazing. They are pretty awesome. All right, so let me turn this back around now. Oh, this printer definitely has some heft to it. I'm gonna have to get rid of quite a few other printers in order to be able to justify shipping this one around the world. So let's see. Can you see? There. Okay. So now we're going to take care of this front area. We're going to get out the hot end. So here is our hot end. It actually came with a very, very nice clone E3D V6, but I have an original E3D Volcano hanging around, so I got that, and I have a hardened 0.6mm nozzle on it for all the fun filaments. It is all metal, so I can do high temperature with this, which would be nice. And this is going to squeeze into there somehow. I need to figure out how I want to position this. This is where it gets interesting, is how in the world do I want to do this, because I need to worry about the sensor. And I think I'm going to go ahead and mount the sensor, which I just had somewhere here. There it is. I'm going to mount the sensor to this front part. And this is held on by, doesn't say. I'm going to assume these 2.5s because they are so bloody smooth. Here's the connector coming out the front. But I'm trying to think, I'm going to do the connector in the, no, I'm going to have to do in the front because it's going to interfere with the hot end. So, because if I do this, that, and come on. Oh, I did that wrong. Wrong again. That's a pretty egregious gap to have to overcome there. Holy cripe. Once we bolt that in, it should pull it together there. Yeah. If I do the hot end this way, it's fine. It's going to have to be to the back, I guess. I'm not really liking how close it is to the PETG back there. Would love it to be this way around. Come on. So that the cooling is closer to the nozzle. But by doing that, I can't do anything else that I want to do. And sideways will kind of work, I guess. But I guess I'll do it backwards. We'll see how it goes. We'll put this in there like that. And then we'll have, where's the cable at for the thermistor cable? I'm using their heater cartridge and thermistor for this because this was a 12 volt heater that was in this, but it's 24 volt printer. So we'll just do like this. Figure out how to get all of that kind of through here or outside of here. Not a very pretty installment way to do it, but it's going to have to do for now, I guess. So let's get this Straightened out there. Get this pressed on again. Do this. Okay. The thermistor. Okay. Now, where are those little 2.5 mil bolts at? Did see some here. Here we go. There's 2.5 by 12s. I don't think it says on here what size to use. No, just mini IR sensor. Nothing in there about what to use. I'm going to need some M3 by 30s, which I think I used all those up. Yeah, the 30s are gone. I used those up. Yeah, so this kit 100% does not have enough bolts to put this together. Not at all. So let me get out some 30 mil M3s, 2 of them. Really threaded. It's a 25. They should be 30s. Let me just double check the length on these. Yep, 2 30s. Okay. Hey, Aaron. There. Well, I think I'm going to have to use 35s just to pull this in. Oh, you little bugger, you knocked off all those. God, get out of here. You knocked over my encyclopedia of bolts that were all categorized by size, and they are now all over the floor. Yeah, Ryan, I do need to do that, but I want to make sure all of this actually fits first. Because if everything doesn't fit, doing the PTFE is just another hurdle to get over eventually. It's bending it. So I'm going to have to figure out, probably going to need to remix these parts to actually fit the hot end that it came with, because it does not. It is too tight. Cracking it right there. It's going to have to get fixed because there is a gap on either side. I mean, it's tight. 100% it's tight, but it is not proper. Which means this will not fit on proper, probably. Now, it doesn't say what size the PTFE tube, does it? Thank you, Chris. Chris, everything is at 0.2 millimeter layer height, 30% infill with 3 perimeters. I don't know how long to make this PTFE tube piece. said in the group? It's not the page. Where's the page? Here it is. So let's search in here for PTFE and see if somebody has said what length it's supposed to be. I know I can make it shorter, but it's... See if anybody here said. 30 mil. How many here said 30 millimeters? That's not long enough. Maybe at least 100. Matt, you there? Do you know what it's supposed to be? Yeah, but that's not, I mean, that's definitely not long enough because it has to get up into the, it has to go all the way down, halfway down into the hot end, and then it has to go up into the extruder. Where is my, zero that. You know, we'll make it like, I guess like 20 above it, I guess, maybe. Like 5 above it, we'll go. I do have, we will use the one that they sent, but I will get out my, where's my tool at? Right here. So I'm going to use the bare cutting tool in order to get the chamfer on the lower end of it. That will help it seat better inside of there. Not all the way. Oh, get in there. That's good there. So number 2 here. Oh, the depth gauge. You're right, Aaron. I didn't even think about that. It is a bit ridiculous that this is not listed anywhere. But it also seems like no one's running this as direct drive, which I find astonishing. Direct drive is so much more superior. Decent chamfer on there now. So hot end, got our that goes in there 33. That goes up in there 16. But I can always also do this way. Pull this off. Push the other end up in there. See, it just matches. Oh, I went way further than that. Or is this? Ouch, man. $25. So oh, I don't know. Let's just cut it and see if it fits. Way too much on there. Here. Slowly take some off. Bolts out of the way. Still too much, about 5 mil too much there. Still. Keep these cuts nice and straight. That works. So before we do that, let's chamfer this end. Oh, where's my X-Acto knife? A little bit easier. That, and then where'd I put the lock at? Set it down somewhere. There it is. There it went. Here it is. Oh, seems to fit okay. Shorter bolts to fit now? Probably not. Those fit now, okay. This one fit. Does. Piece of tape out now. Maybe. Might have. Might have squished that in there from these top pieces. That might be a permanent fixture now. All right, it's staying in there. This is all very stable. Give it that much. Very stable. I'm gonna have to, Aaron. I'm gonna have to pull this back out anyways to measure it. So the thing is that this is cracked now. I'm gonna have to reprint this whole front piece again because it cracked here, and I'm actually just gonna have to redesign it and give it a little bit more clearance. The back seems to be okay. This front piece seems to be the worst. So redesign this front piece to actually fit properly, and reprint this back piece since it's cracked. I'm gonna leave it the way it is right now, but I will measure that on the eventuality. I'm just not in the mood to do it right now because I'm pretty pissed at my cat for knocking out all of my screws. Try some filament to see smoothness. All right, let me find a piece of film in here that I can snip off. These, where do I have a roll at? I got a roll right here. Let's use this one now. I don't care about this one. Way down in there. I use the thumb wheel. No issue feeding in there. No issue whatsoever. So that's good. I'm sure the little chamfer in there probably also helped. All right. Okay. Well, for now, again, for the sake of assembling this, we're going to go ahead and get this bad boy here installed. But to do that, first we need to do, what's it, M3 by 18s? I think it said. Yeah, M3 by 18s. Where are those at? I think it's these right here. Measure. These are 22s. I thought there were 18s in here with this bag. Nope, more 22s. I mean, a smidgen longer ain't gonna hurt, right? 14s, 16s. What's this one? 18. All right, so there's one. Awesome. Man, yeah, this kit just sucks at getting the right sizes for a lot of these pieces here. So I'm going to dig through the floor and see. Oh, no, here's some 18s. Here we go. There's 18s. Okay. I'm going to have to dig on the floor here soon to get the rest of my bits. I mean, not gonna lie, I am legitimately a little bit heartbroken right now that I have to resort those because the last time I did that, I knocked it over and I nearly cried. And then my wife spent literally 3 hours with me sorting through the bolts. It was a insanely sad day. Work on this lens tomorrow too. See if I can't get the zoom to be a little more smooth. I bought secondhand camera and I mean trying to save a buck or 200 to be exact. I mean, I shouldn't have left it down there, but it's also getting used to having an animal in the house again. 2 animals, the bunny and the cat. And my kids know to stay out of my office. I mean, they rarely ever come in here. Usually it's they bring something in, they set it on my desk for a daddy fix pile. And that's about it. They don't really linger in my office. They know better than that. They know things are hot, they know things are sharp. They know I get ticked off if they get in here and mess up my stuff. Okay, so we've got the screws in here. Now we're going to get the fan. And the fan, I want the lead to be there. So will this fit in this way? Like that? Pull these leads out so I don't break them. I'm a little worried about it now. Shoot. Yeah, so let's pull you. Okay. And we'll put this here. The fan just kind of slides right into here. Then I can run the cable out with everything else. It's going to be over here. It's out so these would fit. I'm just not getting enough torque out of this thing. Pull these back a bit here. Get these bolts on first. Somehow. It is just tight. Oh, wait, before I do that, I forgot I need to install the sensor. These are the only 2.5s that I can find in here. They are very long, but they're the only ones that I'm seeing in here that will work. Yeah, I know I'm gonna have to take this all out later to reprint all this stuff and to redesign it, but I want to make sure everything fits that can fit, and then I'll go through and do the redesign. Hey, Aaron, if you're not busy, you want to redesign this coupler for me? Okay, and then the cable is down here somewhere. Looks like I can name this Bumblebee. Out, ground, and voltage. It goes on like that. Yeah, so this front piece here, zoom in here. So this front piece here does not have enough clearance to clamp down on the hot end top. The back plate of this and the back here does not have captive nut holes in the four corners for these two screws and these two screws here in order to hold the nut in place. And then I don't know if anything with the actual front plate needs to change in order to help with the alignment of capturing the hot end in there, but I've got a good what do we got here? I've got a good 2.5 mil gap on either side here because this cannot clamp all the way down on there. Yeah, but I do, this needs, I mean, this has to change just to even get this to work, and I have to reprint this plate here just because it's cracked, and I really want to reprint that back plate just because it should have captive nut holes. Like, why doesn't it? I don't truly understand that. Okay, so now that this is in here, this is going to have to come out right there, I guess. Will this have enough space? Either way. I don't think so. Kind of work. Run it down out of the way for the moment. To catch now. No, none of those are catching yet. One. Yep, I'm hitting it. So as cool as this is not enough clearance for this probe. I don't think I can install it backwards because if I do, this connector is going to be right on the actual hot end. So this is not going to work on this with a direct drive at all. There's no way. So tight. There's no real way to get this fan in there in a decent way. Time, get this in there proper like. I think the front shroud is cool. It needs to actually freaking work. All right, we're gonna flip this fan, take it downwards, I think. Man. Oh. All right, we're gonna have to run the cables like this. Probably the way I should have did it to begin with, but that's just life. And let's see if we can get it to match up now. Yeah, and I've got that same gap here on the sides as I do in the middle there, so these are not going to make it all the way back probably. Force it to go on there. It's on there. It's just not a preferable manner. Yeah, I definitely need to get these parts fixed and redone. That'll make it a lot better there. I'm just going to put a temporary zip tie right here to get these cables out of the way. I do like it has the zip tie management here for cable management. Do that. And I wouldn't mind maybe trying to design something to go up top here. So up here to kind of like get all the cables together, or maybe something to attach to the back of the motor. What is the diameter of a mounting point of the E3D heatsink? Let me measure one real quick. I have them right here. They all should be identical. Where is 12 mil? One camera. Yeah, it's exactly 12 mil. So it definitely needs to get a fair bit of play put in there. Stepping on these screws, and I'm like, killing me here. But I think, Aaron, maybe something, I don't know if we can figure it out, but maybe if I take out these back two screws of the motor back here, we can try and figure out some type of cable stay to assist and give something to attach to. or maybe off to the side here. I would like it to be in the middle because then I can attach the PTFE tube to it as well. But definitely thinking of designing some type of cable stay for the back here, or something that wraps up to the middle and kind of can bolt everything together and take one nice strand to the back. Because I don't mind having a nice little arc here in the back and then do a reverse Bowden in the back. I think that, yeah, definitely doable. I think that would be a very clean look to it. I think that would help out quite a bit. So it does also come with this extension cable here for the one fan, which should be enough. We're going back to, we're going to come all the way to the back over the belts in the back here. You guys can kind of see it, but oh Jesus, let's do this here. Let's zoom out a little bit. Yeah, so oh, come on. Yeah, so we'll come out here at the top, loop up, mount something here on the back to grab the cables, and then go down. I mean, obviously they have to be the furthest point away, which would be, anywhere down here at the bottom corner. This is as far as it can go. Run it up to here, give a nice arc to it so that we're not pinching our cable at all. Yeah, there's that. I am also a little bit worried, Aaron, with this back left motor mount. The back right is not touching the extrusion. Back left is touching the extrusion, and I'm worried about the vibrations from that transferring into the chassis and being really loud. So, I mean, it might be like a hair in there of space, but it's not much. I don't think there's any space in there because this is a 0.2 millimeter little square that I made as a test, and I cannot get a 0.2 millimeter thick square in there. So it's tight. Where's a piece of paper? This is my leveling paper. I can't even get a piece of paper in there. So I think this entire back corner, aside from the corners being ridiculously hard to install, and I think they could be done so much better. I think definitely this back left corner needs to be fixed. Because that's not, I think that's going to cause problems. I mean, other than that, the belts look straight. I mean, everything looks like it's going where it should go. I just really am, the design is very cool from the far, but once you actually start building this printer and you kind of dive a little deeper into some of the parts, it's not great. I know someone's probably going to say, oh, your tolerances are off. They're not. I mean, my tolerances are, on the printers I'm using, I print out a 20 mil cube, I'm off by at most 0.2 millimeters on any one of the axes, which is within the margin of error. It definitely is not that, so I'm not sure. Again, you might just be right, Aaron. There's just no tolerances really built into the printer. There's some, like here, has a little bit of tolerances built into it. These seem to be okay, but having that captive nut in here, why not just surface mount? Why doing it, do a surface mount captive nut on the bottom where it can bite into it instead of seating them in here? Just use a longer bolt. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Or sink these down more so they're not up here. But he was very about trying to get everything flat and not seen, but yet you have all of the nylocks in the back here sticking up. So I'm not a terribly big fan of that. I mean, this is together and it should work. But I mean, I will obviously have to take it all apart and get all that done. I like this, but I might just not have to use it. If it's going to be such a bear to install, it'd be better just to not have this shroud on here. Or better yet, remix this. We're going to remix this we're going to take off these bolts. We're going to bolt the fan on normally on the inside. Since we're already going to change that, Aaron, I say we just make the holes for the 4 bolts for the fan all the way through. Let's do that. I'll remix this, remove the fan holes or these screw holes here, and this will just mount on with these 2. It's just for cover. It doesn't need to hold the fan, and it just is a pain. I think making it a smidgen wider might also help with the tolerance in there. But yeah, this does not need to mount on with these 2 holes, and then this does not need 6 mounting points on it. It needs 2. It's for show only. It has no functional purpose other than to hide the front of the hot end to make it look sexy. That's it. So I think that's a no bueno. I'm also not sure that this is even going to work, this probe, with a volcano hot end. So I might have to just go ahead and reprint that, Aaron. Let me see. What are the other sizes that he has? Because I might. Where's the model at? Here's the model. Where's the x-axis? Gunnar, I'm allowed to complain about it. So he has different probe sizes. And I do have one more 12mm probe. Where's that file at? Sensors, here we go. So there is a, so Aaron, if we can, there's a 12mm sensor one in there. I think we're gonna be better off. I think I'm gonna be better off using that one. I do have another 12mm probe. Let me verify that I have it, because I'm using one 12mm probe on the, and I have another octocoupler here. I mean, I do have a TH3D easy one, but it is too big for this type of printer. Unless I was to like mount it up front or something screwy like that, but to put it here on the side, it might fit there. I don't know, maybe we'll make one for the TH3D big one, and then modify this one. Let me make sure this is 12mm. Yeah, this is 12mm. So we'll modify this one right here. You can't see it because this is in the way. Let's move this out of the way. So this 12mm sensor one needs to get modified to fit this sensor here. And then maybe we can make one for the TH3D one. It is a show off, and that's fine, Gunner. But if it is an absolute bear to install 6 screws on something that's a show off piece, that's stupid. It's stupid. There's nothing else to say about it. It's dumb. We'll take those out. We'll get that better. We'll use a 12mm sensor and an octocoupler, and I can install that because this one needs, yeah. This is the LJ112A3. So yeah, with an octocoupler, that'll work. With that, put that in. We'll put it down here in the box. Okay. I mean, there's also things this printer doesn't come with, like a power port. Like it comes with a plug, but there's no 3D printable part to install that into. So like I said, I'm seeing more and more of all these missing pieces to the puzzle here. And this is very much a work in progress printer and not one that is polished and finished yet. So that is a little unfortunate, as I was kind of hoping for a more polished printer, which is why I picked this to build. I mean, it's why I bought the kit. I was like, oh, that looks like a sick build. That'll be really cool to make. Anyways, I'm done griping. Yeah, so we're gonna have to go with the other sensor type. I'll print off the new piece of that. So I got some printing to do tonight. And then what I can do is I'll probably just switch all that out on my own. I'm not gonna live stream that. Jim, there are 250 remixes, and I did go through them, and some of them are good. Some of them won't really help me at all. So kind of that's that. Gunner, yes, I agree, but the documents are not complete. You know, some of the bolt sizes he says to use don't actually fit. Then there's the flat out lack of tolerances and everything. I had to drill every single hole out because they're all too tight. Like, I think, and again, Aaron and I talked privately, this is a great looking kit. It is a great starting point, but there are a lot of areas that could definitely use improvement. And I'm going to remix the entire bit in order to be more printer friendly and easier to install and way less support. I mean, I'm going to go for, if I can, 0 support, which I'm pretty sure now that I've modified these 2 corners, you can pretty much do this without support. I think on everything else now. These still need support a little bit, but I think if we add a different angle on here, we can go ahead and get this to print without support. I really do think that. And I'm going to upload a complete remix of his parts just fixed and go from there. But Aaron and I also talked about just making our own 4XY. And when I'm done with this, kind of use his as a ground point and build from there. Because I like a lot about it. I just think it'd be so much simpler. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But it is what it is. I mean, he's still active in the Facebook group. I don't know. Do I still have the Thingiverse page open? So the thing files. These have not been updated since, let's see, there's a August of 2019 for 2 parts. So it's been well over a year since any updates have happened to this machine. And the only thing he added, this X Carriage is with twin 4015s for direct drive and for Bowden. I did notice those as kind of supplemental to everything else, but everything else is January of 19. So there have been no fixes applied to any of these parts since then. It's all just been remixes. So yeah, well, I think it is a very good starting point. There is definitely room for improvement on a lot of it, especially the printability of it. So this is open. This is a open source model. So you can remix all of it. And he had, again, there are 240 remixes on Thingiverse already. You know, again, I'm not going to doubt that he did a good job to start off with, but there are definitely things that can be improved. Yeah, it definitely has some good things about it. Yeah, so latest update 3.2.19 added the jigs. June of 2019, print orientation description, added some images. Yeah, nothing really has updated in a long time. But that's okay. We'll build off of it. Well, he links. I mean, I have his website here. He links Thingiverse. I'm using all his documents. I mean, I have everything open here. He links to Thingiverse to download the files. So Arduino code. That's one thing that's gonna be fun to figure out is how to do the Arduino, the NeoPixels will be definitely an interesting thing to do with an SKR. What and how to print. Let's see if he has a link here for the files. Just seeing a link to the thing files here anywhere. That's the materials. I did see, I mean, he's working on metal parts. That was really cool to see. I saw that in the thing. I think like 90 bucks. What those are going to be. How to find the files. Source, I know that. Might be the exact same one I'm using right now. We'll see in a second here if this is any more updated than what I have. So these files are all from, well, these are all from when I downloaded them. So that's not helpful at all. Let's see here. I mean, he still has the thing linked. And the remixes, he links to Thingiverse for the remixes. Here real quick. So let's go big here. So this is the one on the left is from Thingiverse. The one on the right is from his site. It is a smaller folder, smaller file. See if anything is different. All the bed holders there, bottom grill. There's 134 files in his, 133 files on Thingiverse. So these have the date when I download them from Thingiverse, which is pretty annoying. Don't really like that. Wish it would tell me the actual date of things. But looks like I downloaded that March 22nd. And then over here, these are August of 2019. So yeah, again, it's been almost a year since he's uploaded anything different. And this is directly from his website. There's nothing different on here. So yeah, there's no more recent updates. I have the most recent that there is. Oh, somebody made a 3D printable carriage thing here. That's cool. Might need to check this one out. Yeah, but again, all those files are from 2019, and the same thing on Thingiverse. They're all from 2019. I don't know. I'll take a look at the files and see if there's any difference in there, but I'm not really seeing any. I do like that he gives you the offsets, though, on the parts there. That's pretty cool. Not many people do that. Makes it a little bit more difficult, but the fact that he has all that in there is nice. Anyways, what else can we do on here? I think that's all the X Carriage. I'm gonna have no more printed parts here to do, so I need to reprint, remix, reprint, and get parts on here. Look at trying to figure out some type of cable holder here. I just found a cable chain on Thingiverse that kind of mounts to here, which is kind of cool. I like that idea. But I'm fine with just using the sleeving that came with it and using the Bowden tube as a kind of a stay, or I can use a piece of nylon, maybe figure out how to drill or put a piece of nylon into 3D printed part that we mount to here, and then have that 3mm nylon be the support for the chain or for the bundle of cables, and not be relying on the cables themselves. So definitely some things to work on here. It's a good start, though. I mean, I'm excited that it's gone this well so far, but I'll be more excited to spin around the heater block on the volcano, get that closer to the cooling, and not be cooling the actual heater cartridge. Spin that around, get a sensor on here that will work, because this IR sensor will not work with the volcano. It doesn't work with this direct drive shroud here anyways, because the connector hits. And even if I was to flip it around and put the connector on the backside, it would sit directly on the heat block and would melt the connector. So the only way to use the IR sensor is to not use this front grill piece, which is super duper cool looking. I really do like that. Other than that, not too bad. A few little things here and there need fixed, but I am liking it so far. Again, it's built like a brick shit house. I mean, it is. Like, there are so many corner brackets and side brackets and all this extra extrusion. I mean, this thing is incredibly rock solid. I do want to figure out how to do some feet for it. I did find one file online that uses EVA foam. I don't have any, but I would be cool to kind of go in there and do that. There's a link to the Fusion Gallery file. All right, Aaron, I'll catch you later. I'm going to be ending stream here in just a minute. I just want to make sure there's nothing else I need to kind of go to install or anything. But yeah, so the plan will be reprint, install, fix all these. I'll probably spend tonight updating these files what I can, and have Aaron help me with the other ones that I can't figure out. Get these tolerances right on this, reprint, rebuild, and then Friday night I'll stream again, and we're gonna do the Z-axis. So we'll install the rails, the motors, motor mounts, the motors. We'll get the bed installed. I already built the bed. Built the bed. It's 4 pieces of extrusion and 4 corner brackets at it. But it has these, again, not functional at all, but these just nice looking corner pieces that just slide on there. I mean, they give it a little bit more rigidity to it, but they are just for the coolness, and I think they look great. It has one bolt on one side, again, just to kind of give it a cool look. So I do like that. We'll get those installed. Oh, bolt right there is loose. Yeah, so far it was a good evening. Learned a bit about what needs to be fixed and whatnot. We learned what works well, what doesn't. I'm just happy to have the belts on there in tension. I really like that. That is nice to see that we can get this all moving very nice and easily. Not too tight on the belts. So it's very cool, very good design on the tensioning. I do like that. Way better than the Hypercube. That's my only other Core XY experience, but this way of tightening the belts instead of like going to the back and trying to use a screwdriver is a much better implementation. I like that a lot. Yeah, all right, so I think we're gonna call it there. It was a good build. I think we got some good progress done. And yeah, so Friday night, you guys can join again. We're going to do part 4, and that will be the Z-axis build of this. I already have those parts printed, so this week, once I get this finished up, I will start printing the front panel parts, which I'm not sure the color combination. I'm going to do all black with yellow highlights in it. I think I'm going to do that. But yeah, so that'll be for next Monday, will be the front panel installation. And I still need to figure out a mount for, I think I'm going to go ahead and use, I'm going to use the Big Tree Tech, the 3.5 TFT. I think I'm going to use this instead of the RepRap full graphic display that comes with this, because I don't like it. And I'd rather use a better screen. So I think I'm going to use this with the SKR 1.3 and go from there. I might also, if I have time this week, just drill and mount maybe the board and the power supply on the back of here, just so I can do some basic testing with the firmware and whatnot. But I do want to get that stuff installed and kind of just, again, this is a temporary piece of acrylic for just right now to use. It's nothing permanent at all. I am looking into enclosing the whole thing, but that's a lot of money. So kind of need to see where the pennies fall on that one, because it is a lot of money. It's like going to be like what I said, 120 to do it myself, or probably close to 200 to have my buddy cut everything. So was a duet clone or the real deal in the kit? No, this came with an SKR 1.3. Didn't come with the duet clone. So there's 3 tiers of this kit from Blue Rose. There's the highest tier, which is a real E3D, a real Bondtech, a Meanwhile power supply, a full Duet Wi-Fi 2, whatever it is, a Duet Wi-Fi, the whole 9 yards. Then there's the medium one, which I honestly don't know the difference between that and this, because these are Highwind rails. They are. I mean, they're stamped. They all run smooth and true. There's no wiggle in any of them anywhere. So I don't really know the difference between that one and this one. Maybe that one comes with a few electronics. Like this one doesn't come with any of the NeoPixels, or that doesn't come with any of the side panels. It doesn't come with any of the acoustic foam. So I have all that coming separately, but I don't really know the difference between that. So the highest tier one, I think, is like $800, $900. And there's like a $650 one, $700 one, and there's this one at, I believe, $450, and they all have like $130 shipping on them. So yeah, I don't really know why the difference between this and the middle one. This one seems to be good so far. Good extrusion, good corner brackets, few missing bolts here and there for the different sizes. The rails are good. Everything else seems, I mean, I only went for a Volcano because I want to print bigger ones. So Cap Glass 24 by 24 1/8 inch. So Jeff, I was gonna go with 3/16 because I'll be losing these corner brackets. And again, I know this thing is built like a brick shithouse with all these 2020 corner brackets, but I wanted to retain the rigidity and do something a little thicker. So I thought 3/16 would be a better option, and 24 by 24 on E Street Plastics is the cheapest I've found for 20 bucks. So I think that would be, that's in black. I think that's the best deal I can find, is $20 per sheet. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, just in the acrylic plus the other, I think it's like 20 bucks for shipping, something like that. So if anybody wants to help for that, go ahead and drop a buck. But yeah, we'll see if I end up doing that or not, because that's going to be legit. But yeah, all right, I'm going to start remixing these parts, and I might throw on one of these pancake steppers instead to lighten up this gantry, because it's got a full 38 millimeter on there. Again, if I'm taking it all apart, I might as well see what I can do. So, been a good stream. Thanks for hanging out, guys. If you want any information about the printer, I'll make sure to link everything down below, all the different resources I have. I don't remember if I added them in there or not, but I think all the links are down there. If you want to help out for building this is mostly funded by patrons, but for all these extra bits I'm going to be getting, it's not. So if you want to help out with helping with this, you can check all the things down below. So thanks for hanging out, guys. Stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you guys on, today is Monday, I'll see you guys Friday night for part 4 of this build.